Salute Nation. Welcome to another episode of Raiders Unfiltered. I'm your boy, I'm Jay Raider. Salute to everyone pulling up for the show. Appreciate you guys joining me on this Monday afternoon, Monday evening, wherever you guys are at. Happy belated Father's Day to all the fellow fathers out there. I hope you guys were spoiled and catered to yesterday. I know I was. Had a really fun day at Top Golf. It was pretty cool. Got to go and spend some good quality time with the fam. And I hope all the fathers did too. So salute to the fathers, the stepfathers, the foster dads, the big bros, whatever the situation may be, you out there and you helping out. Salute to you guys. Hey, you guys are appreciated from one dad to another. I know how it is. So salute to you guys. But shout out to my guy, Red riding in the building. Salute, my guy. But just wanted to go ahead and come on. I don't really have, obviously, there's not a lot going on today. Just wanted to go ahead and really chop it up with you guys. Is really kind of off the cuff type of thing. So there's no real format for today's show. You know, we're gonna We're going to talk about a few subjects here and there, but I really don't have anything kind of concrete set up for today, but just really talking about Raider ball, man, for real, as we do. But let's go ahead and kind of kick things off. Obviously, last week we picked up a big name in Germaine Pratt. He signed that 1 year deal, $4.78 million. A real, to me, a real good addition to that linebacker room. For weeks now, or almost like 2 months now, almost we've been talking about the situation in the linebacker room, and it was addressed. So I'm glad to go ahead and see Germaine Pratt being in that linebacker room, and I think it does go ahead and bolster that linebacker room with the current personnel we currently have, right? So, um, you know, would I like to see possibly another addition? Yeah, for sure. I think we can go if we can go ahead and get more, uh, maybe another player two in that linebacker room. I feel a little bit more confident, but as the time being, Pratt being on the squad, um, it's a really big addition. Uh, and then obviously we had another visit to the Raiders as well. Obviously, Shaq Griffin met with the Raiders last week, but the real possibility of him coming over and being that other uh, addition to the corner to the DB room as another corner is a possibility as well. I mean, obviously, he met with the Raiders sometime late last week, but walked out without a deal. So as of yet, nothing has been said, but having him come over to the Raiders to be part of that defensive back room would be a plus, in my opinion. So, currently, we talked about the situation. Obviously, you have you have Damian Porter, who's a guy who's developing, but he's progressing very, very fast, right? You have Eric Stokes, who's also showing out at practice as well, and then you have Jacorian Bennett, right, which is still rehabbing and also getting to really be part of the program and really get involved and get his skills back uh, to form, right? So other than that, I mean, you have Chen, you have Paul Mao up top. You have Trey Taylor, Chris Smith, but we don't know where their place is going to be at. But yeah, as of now, I mean that DB room, uh, you know, could also probably use another another uh, another player in there as well. So we'll see what happens. But as of right now, no word on Shaq Griffith to the Raiders as of yet. Obviously, we have the other rumor that's currently out there: Mike Hilton possibly coming over to the Raiders. Right, that'll be another possibility as well. That rumor has been going on for the last like day or two. Um, as of yet, we don't know what that would look like contract wise. Let me go ahead and kind of pull up his stats for Hilton, and then also I got Shaq Griffin, and we'll go ahead and go over that in just a second. Shout out to my people already pulling up. Salute, salute. Shout out to my guy Robert Pena. Salute, brother. My guy Marcus Banks. Appreciate you pulling up. And again, this is, I'm doing a live. Not much currently out there as far as rated news, but there is some news, right? That we can go ahead and definitely talk about and see, you know, um, what the possibilities of something like that really coming into play is, right? But uh, as far as news, we getting into the dry season. This is kind of what it's starting to be, right? So, but hey, I'm always down to go ahead and talk Raider ball, and I hope you guys do too for sure. Let's see. My guy Raider Ryan. I love Top Golf. Very nice. Had to work the sport. Yep. it's all good, man. Yeah, Top Golf is cool. If you have never gone, check it out. It's if golfing was really never my thing. It's something kind of like where I kind of picked up from my buddy, and my brother used to play golf before, so I wanted to go ahead and try it out, and it was pretty cool. It was fun. I sucked at first, and then now, man, I hit that ball like 170 yards, bro. So it was cool. Um, I did kind of hear a little bit about what that doctor was. I didn't catch the full snippet, but yeah, I mean the thing with the toe, it's in a really unique position, and obviously it's just letting it rehab, man. That's the important thing, and um, you use that part of your foot so much that if it's not right by like training camp, it takes a very long time to really heal, man. So I hope that we get to see Christian Wilkins back by training camp. If not, man, honestly, we like we said like last week, on the shows on Raider Connection and Good Morning Raiders, I believe. Just gotta let the man give him time to rehab, do it the right way. Take your time, and then have him come in and really start showcasing. But don't force it just because we want to see him play. You have to do this thing the right way for sure. If not, it's not gonna be he's not gonna be effective. But that's basically kind of what it is. But yeah, but I got Mike Hilton's stats for last year. So he had 50 solo tackles, um, and then other than that, it's one interception as well. Five passes defended. So it's not they're not like wild numbers, but still either way, it's solid, right? So let me look at Shaq Griffin's numbers really quick. Let's see here. All right. So last year he had about 33 solo tackles. He had two interceptions, one for 28-yard return, six passes defended. Um, he had one stuff. So, it's as far as measurables, stat wise, Shaq Griffin looks a little bit cleaner. Um, but obviously, we still yet to be determined kind of if this really is something that really pans out, right? Would a deal possibly happen? Yeah, definitely could. Just because he left out of there last week doesn't really mean nothing. Obviously, you have that continuity with Pete having been in Seattle for so many years. That does go a long way. And with this organization, we all know that relationships matter, right? And so might be a situation where you have something where you have Shaq Griffin and then Mike Hilton, who are going to go ahead and pick. It might just come down to that relationship where they have that familiarity, right? So the now on the plus side, obviously Mike Hilton and Germaine Pratt have played for a few seasons as well, so they also have that continuity and they kind of know each other's moves and whatnot. So um, you have that as well. So it'll be interesting to see who they actually pursue. Now, let me kind of talk about as far as contract wise, right? Let me see here. So it looks like for Shaq, his market value is around six. And let's see here. Mike Hilton, pull that up. Mike's let's see. He's about 12, almost 12 and a half, right? So about half. So I don't know. If I'm putting the GM hat on and I'm trying to think like Spy Tech and looking at everything I've done over the last few months, it might look like Shaq will be the guy you kind of would go after, right? Just for one, continuity, two, price tag wise. That might be a guy that they possibly pursue. So we'll see. Shout out to my guy Rafa in the building. What it do, brother? Salute to you, my guy. Hank, salute to you, brother. Shaq Griffin has two arms. He can just help us. Yep, exactly. Um, Shout out to my guy Alec. Griffin would be reasonable price to bring in. Yep, facts, bro. Um, it is on the lower price tag. We're not breaking the bank. We're not having to spend so much capital. Mind you, guys, we still got to go ahead and extend Colton Miller. We still got to go ahead and resign Jacoby Myers. We still got Daniel Carlson also in the win that needs to that needs to also get a contract extension as well. I think first and foremost, we talked about it on Saturday. Colton Miller is going to be the guy probably first step to go ahead and get a contract extension. He said openly that he wants to be a Raider, and if that's the case, I definitely make that priority number one. And like we said, um, tackles don't grow on trees, right? Tackles don't grow on trees. The continuity between linemen, it goes a long way. Knowing each other's moves ahead of time, um, it matters, right? It matters. Great lines have been built that way. So it just all depends on how much money we still have in the cap space right now. Currently, I think it's still about 36 million. Actually, let me check. I don't know if Jermaine's contract went into effect or not. Let's see here. Let me see here really quick. Shout out to my guy Dub Raider in the building. Salute to you, brother. Appreciate you pulling up, my guy, and make sure you guys go ahead and head on over and give my guy Dub a subscribe. He has fire content. He did an interview with my guy Severe Raider the other day. Really, really good interview. Salute to you guys, man. It was good for sure. Um, let's see. My guy like Ramsey and Simmons to the Rays may be unlikely yet. So this is I don't know if it's Simmons going to be it. He's been on the market for a while. Ramsey, and I said this on a different show when I was in the chat. I think they're just going to go ahead and wait him out. That's kind of what it looks like, and just wait for him to get cut. You know, they'll because we got options, right? Um, would it be great to have Jalen Ramsey? Yes, it would. It would be hands down phenomenal. He would be our corner one immediately. But the price tag on bringing him over is still going to be a lot. Even on a team friendly deal, you're still looking anywhere from like 16 to about $18 million per season. It's no chump change, right? So is that something that they're willing to go ahead and pursue? I don't know, right? I think they're thinking about it, and he would definitely come in handy, most likely in 26 when we start really making a threat towards the playoffs, right? And really make a playoff run. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with Ramsey. But I think they're just really gonna wait him out till he gets cut and then um, go from there. I don't think they're gonna entertain a trade. I know Miami's willing to go ahead and find a trade partner, and I think they're gonna try to wait out as long as possible. I think right before the training camp. If not, they'll probably go ahead and cut him at that. So we'll see. Uh, yeah, he might want like around 9. So um, but that's still not bad. If you get him under 10, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So um, yeah, we'll see. Shout out to my guy Rorschach24. What it do, brother? Salute. Just popped in to say what up. Have a great thank you, brother. Appreciate you. No worries, man. You have a good one, brother. Thanks for popping in. Salute to my guy, Rose Town. What it do, brother? Salute. My guy, Space Beast in the building. What it do, my guy? Salute to you guys. Appreciate you guys pulling up. And again, just shooting the shit, just kind of doing an off the cuff show. I don't really have anything kind of concrete planned and set up to really talk about. Obviously, just kind of more of the rumors that's going on. Obviously, Raiders might go out and possibly get Shaq Griffin or Mike Hilton. Mike Hilton's on the block currently as well. So um, we'll see what happens with that. Now going back to what I was saying earlier with Jermaine Pratt on the cap. As far as over the cap, he has it's not reflective as of yet. Um, Let me see if Spot Track possibly has that. I know they kind of changed their thing out. Let me see. Looking at that right now. I don't think he's on here either. Yeah, I don't think he's on here either. No. So as of right now, Spot Track and also over the cap have the cap space about $36 million, right? So again, still contract extensions to be had that need to be done. Um, so I wouldn't spend too much on big name free agents, but if you are going to go ahead and spend on a guy like Jalen Ramsey for sure, worth it, worth every penny. But are they willing really to do that? That is a question. My guy Alec, word is Lindenberg might surpass Eichenberg soon. I hope so, bro. I mean, he's a seventh round pick coming into this thing. I think Eichenberg, what's on year two now? On year two, and we really didn't see so much last year. It's out tidbits, but I hope Lindenberg is going to really take that step forward and really be a really promising linebacker. We got to, man. I mean, we drafted this guy for the future, so we'll see what happens, right? But I really do hope that's the case for sure. Salute to my guy Troy in the building. What it do, brother? What has happened with the second round pick? So, good question. Good question. You brought that up. Um, so this is the thing with the second round picks. I believe it's the Texans. I think the Browns are the ones that kind of threw a monkey wrench and kind of fucked it up for everybody. They went ahead and gave guaranteed a 4-year guaranteed deals to their second rounders, right? So in that effect, it's like a trickle down effect. If same thing happens, like let's say, for example, when we went and gave Max his big extension, right? He's like the highest paid non-quarterback for that time. It's the same thing. So everybody kind of follows suit, right? So it's like a market. It's basically the market, right? The NFL has its own very own market, and based on how someone gets paid, it kind of trickles down and kind of sets a tone for all the other positions and premier players, blue chip players in the NFL. So it's the same thing. They went and kind of fucked things up. Normally, second rounders don't get a fully guaranteed contract like first rounders do. So that's the situation. So what all these guys are trying to do, because as of now for the whole league, I think only two of them signed. Everybody's kind of holding out and try to see if they can get a fully guaranteed contract themselves, or as much fully guaranteed as possibly can be, right? And I get it, right? They're trying to get as much money as possible because at the end that you don't know, but that's what the current situation on the second round pick is. But as far as for our guy, our second rounder, Jack Bash, I mean, he's been practicing, he's been at the OTAs, he's been at minicamp, he's doing the whole thing. He has not shied away and not done his duties just because he hasn't signed, on the contract as of yet. So I wouldn't worry too much. Obviously, they're just trying to make it make sense dollar wise. Do we do a fully guaranteed contract for Bash? I don't know. I don't really see it. I don't really think that we should go fully guaranteed for him. It should be very lucrative for him, and make it where it's probably more than a half guaranteed. but I think that's where you meet. That's kind of where you meet at the middle, you know. Um, but that's the current situation with that for sure. Uh, yeah, yeah. Top two picks of the second round, giving fully guaranteed deals, cause chaos with the second round of these player agents. Yeah, so it's like a whole market thing. Everything around revolves around everything. You know, the way somebody gets signed at quarterback somewhere else in a free agency kind of sets a tone for the whole market. It really does, right? Um, I think prime example, if we want to go back to kind of the whole Josh Jacobs thing and where he wanted to get paid like a certain amount of money and they kind of told him no, because this is not where the running backs are evaluated right now. It's the same thing. So it kind of at some point the running backs were kind of devalued a little bit. They lost value, right? Until now, with Saquon kind of bringing that back up, now running backs are getting paid, pretty decent money. I don't think it's quite as yet what they were before, probably like from like 2 or 3 years ago, but they're starting to go back towards that trajectory. So yeah, we'll see kind of what happens with that, and hopefully we can go ahead and get Besh signed and put this thing to bed and kind of move forward and just kind of get off of that because um, I don't know. I don't think it's going to go running all the way into training camp, but you never know. These things are kind of weird, but yeah. Uh, let's see. Who said he said shouldn't go full retard? Tell me, guys, cut. Who said that? I don't know, bro. That's not what I said. Man. Salute to Rock. Rock bringing the funny shit, man. But yeah, that's kind of where we're at as far as Shaq Griffin and Mike Hilton. You guys, let me know what you guys think about having us going out and getting Shaq Griffin. I did put a poll out just a bit ago. Should the Raiders go get Shaq Griffin? 80% said yes, 20% say no. 5 votes current casted in. If you haven't done so already, make sure you guys go ahead and head on over and cast your vote. Let your voice be heard. This is a good, interesting, tidbit I would like to go ahead and kind of get you guys feedback on because, at being with that corner room, I don't know. Obviously, we still don't really have a real clear cut answer at slot. You know, Run and I talked about it on Saturday. Is maybe Jacorian possibly playing slot, but that's even questionable itself, right? Having him being a little bit undersized and whatnot, but he has a speed, which is great. But I don't know if he would necessarily fit there. Right now, I think it's just it's Darnay Holmes, it at slot, right? Outside, we're having Darian Porter really coming along and developing. Definitely going to be a contender for that CB1 spot. Same thing for Eric Stokes. More of a seasoned player who's already been around the block. So long as he stays healthy, I think could be a guy that could potentially also make a run for CB1 as well. So it just kind of all depends. But let's see what's up. Let's see. My guy, like Packers have structured Josh deal, so it makes it so it's like so it's still like year to year and can release him if he plays drop. Okay, see, uh, once Josh left, bro, I stopped paying attention to that dude. So I don't know what his contract is, but if that's true, that's cool. I know their system works a little bit differently, just kind of how the Packers have the whole ownership player thing set up. So that might be it. It might be a thing where it's kind of like year to year, and if he starts, a lot of injury or he starts regressing in play, then it might be a thing where either he gets a pay cut or he might get ultimate cut. So who knows? Who knows? We'll see what's up. But yeah, um, that's very interesting on Josh Jacobs. But it's just crazy how the whole market's set with players and how their contracts, how much they get paid, and that sets the tone for other guys. And everybody wants to get paid around the same amount, if not get bigger contracts. It's a whole thing, man. It's a whole thing for sure. Um, let's see. My real vote is for Shaq. Is maybe he's 29 years old, corner, not like a star like Jalen Jair. Yeah. See, this is the thing. Shout out to my guy Space Beast. Uh, yes, he's 29. He's not a rock star. His and I went out and read his stats for last year. Career wise, the guy has over like 300 tackles. Um, he has 9 interceptions and like 70 passes defended, 11 stuffs. Right, but he's not a rock star, but he has solid numbers. The thing with Jair, he's injury prone. You have to pay kind of a higher price tag for him, and you don't know what version of Yari you're gonna get. You can either get a healthy version of him, or you can get the injury prone version of him, right? Where we might have him for like 7 games out of the year, or 8 games maybe, right? We're gonna be stuck back in an Nate Hobbs type situation, and we just got away from that. I don't think they're really gonna want to really revisit that, to be honest with you. If they're really if they want to spend money, which look just kind of looking at the star, looking at the reading the tea leaves from all the months prior, I don't think that's the way they're gonna go at it. I think they're gonna try to go for the cheaper route. Shaq is probably gonna be the guy where he has that familiarity with Pete. Having worked with Pete for a few seasons out there in Seattle, comes on the cheaper end, and I think that's something that they could kind of build off, right? Jalen, yes, Jalen gets you immediate, boost on your defense, but you're having to pay the higher price tag. I don't think they're gonna do a trade with them. I'll be surprised if they do a trade with them, and if they do, they do. I don't see it. I don't see where you're having to pay all this money for a contract, and and on top of that, you're having to give something up. It's just dumb. It doesn't make sense. So I don't think that's the way they're gonna go. To be honest with you, I think they're gonna wait till he gets cut, whenever that is, whether it's this month, July, or beginning of August. Then they might make a move and see what happens. So that's my take on Jalen. Right. Yep. My guy Alec. Ramsey has been top league player, so that's why he commands that money. However, I think Griffin can really help us. Yes, yes, and I'm not saying he's not he's worth the money, and I think we can get him on the cheaper deal. But you haven't see this is what Miami wants. Miami wants a trade plus you pay all of the rest of his contract, which is like $21 million. Just fucking insane, right? 21 million, no. You're not like if we're not having to give up, a draft pick or trade up with players and they eat like at least half, or if not maybe a quarter of that contract, then it starts making a little bit more sense. But at this point, this is kind of what Miami wants. They want you to go out, they want you to trade for something and then still eat up his contract because you're in a fucked up situation with their salary cap. So it's advantageous for them to try to get something in return. This is what they're more worried about is the salary cap. They want to get them off of their books. That's the thing. Let's see. Brock says, typically free agents suck. I wonder how free agents comp to trade for, etc. Cut players often come cheaper and play with a chip on their shoulder. I think of Geno Smith resurgence as a template. Yeah, so I mean, they do. Players get cut for different reasons, right? For example, with Germaine Pratt, we just went out and got this guy off of a cut. he got cut not because he sucked, it's because of a contract dispute. We were lucky enough to go ahead and pick up a guy like this, right? Say what you want. I know me and Leo talked about it on Wednesday, and we have our differences of opinion, but currently out there, he's probably the most solid guy you can go ahead and pick up. But he was picked up off a situation where it was contract related. It was not because of his performance, and we just ended up winning out on that. We drew the lucky straw, and we were able to go ahead and acquire him. And that's what I was saying for quite a while. Is like I think the play for Pete and Spytek is they're going to wait out to see who's available post June 1st, and that's what ended up happening. You got a guy like Germaine Pratt who became available. You have Shaq Griffith who's available. You have Mike Hilton who's available now, right? So these guys are starting to free up for not just because of the performance, but for contract disputes for either not getting an extension or not getting whatever, right? Um, that it happens. So when those guys hit the market, this is where our time comes to shine, and we're able to go ahead and pick up some good gems, just like Germaine Pratt, to go ahead and help our current situation. I think Spytek says that the roster is not by any way done yet, and I think that wholeheartedly. I think that they're still going to add a few more people before the end of training camp, right? There's going to the whole thing is banked on competition. I don't think for those certain areas that we're kind of worried about, I think they're going to really address that. I think more is definitely yet to come for sure. Yeah. Rock says we haven't seen how Gino performs with pressure of living up to high expectations, aka big payday. Yeah, but this is the thing. Yeah, he got a big payday, bro. But um, he also has a situation where like it's front loaded. So if this thing with him doesn't work out by next year, he's gone. We can go ahead and effectively release him, get out of that contract, and only having to eat $10 million roughly. It's about like 10 to like 15, somewhere around there. Uh, and we got out of it. Right now, the only thing is that we don't really have a clear cut answer as far as quarterback. I think this is AOC's final year under his rookie contract. I think he's coming to get re-upped soon. I don't know. I gotta re-look it up. But we went out and got Cam Miller, which he's what, a 6th round pick. Don't know. I think that kid's gonna need a lot of development. But essentially, we can essentially get out of Gino's contract by 2026, if you really wanted to, right? So if he doesn't work out, so I don't know if that expectation of him of the big contract it is. I think it's more of him wanting to go out and appease and make sure and really plays good and hard for Pete. But I think he's in a situation where he's very comfortable. He knows Pete. They have history. Pete has a lot of confidence in this guy. So, I don't think the pressure is going to be so much as probably we think it is. So I don't know. Yeah. My guy, like, there's always a risk with free agents. However, it is also kind of work out well on a new team. Facts, bro. Sometimes being a new team is kind of like a refresher. You got that second chance to go ahead and improve yourself. So these guys come in with chip on the shoulder. That's always good for sure. Shout out to my guy Ardell. Ho, we call it Ho, bro. Just kidding. How long is the term on Griffin? I don't know what you mean. How long is the term on Griffin? I don't know. Yeah, give me a little bit more clarity on this question, my guy. Let's see. Gino struggles with pressure on the field. How that doesn't carry over from the field, like shit, like pressure to prove being worth a big payday. I get you, bro. I get you. I think the situation is a little bit different now that he's in Vegas. He has weapons. Literally, they build up a lot of shit around him. Um, so and then he has Pete to kind of like bring in that positive reinforcement and that nurturing side, I guess, right? And he had a lot of success with Pete. And this is why I think this is a good pairing to bring Gino over. When Gino's on, he's on. He can perform. When he's not, he sucks for sure. You know, I've talked about it. There's question on the interceptions, right, from last year. And we've addressed it. His O line wasn't anywhere near good. He really didn't have a real strong running game either. So he had to make a lot of plays on his feet. He had to force plays or try to extend plays, probably especially in the red zone, and that kind of was a detriment to him. So us going on and really one letting go of Andre James, bringing in JPJ, most likely he's going to win that center position. Bring in an Alex Kappa, Caleb Rogers, Charles Grant. Caleb was the stronger of the two. He might be a contender to possibly win a starting spot, if not a rotational spot. You got Jordan Meredith. Uh, you got Colton Miller. We got DJ Glaciers coming back, right? So there's a lot. There's a lot to this O line that's being better. It's not what it was last year. Top of that, you got Chip Kelly, you got Pete's son Brandon, who's here as well. So that O line is going to be definitely better. It's not going to be from last year, and that's one of my concerns. Kind of going into the season, just how is our O line going to look? Because we saw what it looks like when it ain't on for sure. Yeah, yeah. Gino is here to go ahead and build culture for sure, for sure. Uh, yeah, he is a UDFA for sure. Maybe that's kind of what the trend has been going. We've been doing a lot of 1 year deals, so that might be the play. Let's see. My guy Alex, Seahawks only guaranteed 32 mil signing bonus for Sam Darnold so they can get out of that deal easy. Yeah, for sure, bro. So there you go. And that's another situation where they front loaded. They spend big year one, but if it don't work out for year two, you're not having to be stuck with this guy. I think an example was our boy Derek Carr, over in New Orleans. He had a big contract, you know, uh, I think if they would have cut him, they would have ate like 46 million or something like that. And that worked out with his injury. He retired and he didn't take the money. There you go. Stand up guy for that. But also too, they didn't tax him for other monies that they just basically said it was a wash, right? So you retire, he's a wash. You keep the money we gave you. We don't have to pay out anymore. And that's that. That works out. So, but yeah, teams do that, and I think same thing with Gino. Gino's primed to get most of the money this year. Next year, it's like $10 to $12 million cap hit if we decide to go ahead and part ways with him. So, yeah. Salute to my guy AR Afakasi Raider in the building. What a do, brother! Make sure you guys go ahead and give my guy a follow. We did the quiz show. It is a very fun, hot show. So make sure you guys go ahead and tap into my guy's quiz show that he does with Odd Six. Salute to Odd Six as well. I think they do it every Sunday or every other Sunday, something like that. So make sure you guys go ahead and give my guy a follow for sure. Let's see. Yeah, see, yeah, it's really, really, it's really fun. It's really cool for radio trivia. I suck, bro. I barely remember what I fucking did yesterday. That's how it kind of goes, I barely remember what I did yesterday. Uh, yeah, yeah, 10-12 for quarterback is cheap. Yep. exactly, exactly. Uh, let's see the tackles and centers. What I like. Guards really need to prove. Yep, exactly. So yeah, the tackles and the center are really solid. The guards is really where we're gonna find out who's gonna be in that starting line, right? So I think by training camp we'll kind of know more or less where how our O line is really gonna look. But as of now, it is a competition for sure. It is a competition. So yeah, we'll see. But go ahead and get your questions in, guys, if you haven't done so already. I'm about it's a short live again. Nothing. It's kind of off the cuff. Should talk about, whatever. There's certain key, certain rumors going out there right now as far as Mike Hilton, Shaq Griffin, who picked up Pratt, right? So, but everything is on the table as far as rated news and possible pickups for sure. Going back to that poll I just did a little bit ago, should the Raiders go and get Shaq Griffin? 88% says yes, 12% say no. Eight votes casted in. Appreciate everybody who participated in that poll. Ooh, let me give you guys one more before I get up out of here. Let's see. There we go. This one's a good one too. Oops. Okay, there we go. All right, so I got you guys. Should the Raiders go out and get Mike Hilton? Let me know what your thoughts are on that one. And I'll keep that out toward till the end of the show for sure. Uh, let's see, Meredith and whoever takes that other guard spot. Yeah, so yeah, real good competition right now between you got Meredith, you got Kappa, you got Mumford is there as well. Parham is there as well. So you got a few guys that can possibly take the spot. So interesting to see. I think I haven't heard I haven't heard too much. I haven't heard of lately too much of Caleb Rogers. Kappa did a press the other day. He might be definitely in contention. It might just be a turnaround thing with him. Meredith might be probably the front runner in that. Parham, we saw what Parham was last year. Not feeling him. I really don't want to see him in a starting role. I would like to see him kind of more as depth, just in case type situation. But you know, uh, yeah, obviously we'll know more closer towards training camp. I think it's going to take about maybe the first preseason game to find out really what's going to happen on that end for sure. So let's see here. My guy Ardell, can Pete restore credibility to this franchise? I think he can. I think so too, man. I think we're already in that trajectory, right? A lot of guys are coming over and wanting to play for the Raiders just because of Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll brings a lot of notoriety, man. I mean, look what he did at SC. Look what he did at Seattle. Literally, got them a Super Bowl. And really had the Seahawks be a contender for so many years. So definitely Pete brings something to the table, right? Um, and so he is bringing respect to the name, but obviously it goes hand in hand. It also not only because of who he is, but Raiders got to do their part. Raiders got to go ahead and put the wins on the field. Got to put the performance on the field. We definitely cannot look like what we did last year, where we really struggled to go ahead and put any type of offense together. Our defense was kind of solid, when they were fresh. When they were not fresh and they were out for such a long time, then that's where we struggled, right? Because of the offense. So I think having that balance this year where I think now the offense really takes a step forward. The defense took a quiet little bit of step back. I think now I could say a little bit, not a big step back, but I think a little small step back, and I think we'll have more of a balance, and we'll see a different type of Raider team this year as opposed to last year for sure. I heard Rogers has been doing great from the coaches. Good, good. I mean, I hope so. He's a he's a fucking third round pick, man. I hope he's doing good, right? Or fourth round pick. I think he was. Oh, man, I forgot. It was our only been 2 months and I forgot. Draft pick. Let's see. Draft pick. I think he was a third. He was third. Yep. See, third round pick. So he's a third round pick. I will hope that he would be doing good, man, for sure, for sure. Let's see. Do we expect Carson to be usual self again? Kicker matters. Close games. I think we've been in a lot of games in the fourth quarter this year. I hope so. It is dependent that he do really good. I mean, he's been clutch for the most part. I don't know if it was them because of the situation last year where obviously we weren't doing all too great and kind of just trickled down, right? We saw kind of the situation with Jack Jones, right? I didn't get to see the interview. I only saw like a small little clip of him kind of talking, but that it's a trickle down effect. Once you're not winning, morale goes down. It's a natural thing. If you anybody who ever played a sport and if you ever been part of a losing team, the morale sucks. It does. So I think that kind of contribute to that, but definitely he definitely needs to go ahead and step up and be good. And he has the leg. He has the leg on him. This guy can hit from like 50, 55. Um, so we'll see. We'll see for sure. Yep, we need to work on some play, but he needs to be healthy first and foremost, bro. That's the thing that I want, and especially playing the guy the contract that he's getting paid, where you're having to pay 17, $18 million this season. Take your time, bro. Do it the right way. You know, don't rush it because if you rush it, that's where you get big setbacks, and then you're down for another season. We don't need that. We don't need that. We have some depth this year at D tackle. Went out and literally got JJ Pegues. We got Tonka Hemingway. Not even to mention Lualu. Not even to mention some of the other guys that we went out and got. We also have Adam Butler. I think we I. I think we're all right. So we'd like to see him back really, really soon, but we have some depth, so other guys can go ahead and definitely step up to the plate as well. So let's see. My guy Rock, Chip Kelly's system favors high pressure QBs, but only works without pressure. Let's see if Gina can handle pressure or we fucked. No, pause, bro. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think he'll be good. I think he'll be okay, man. I don't think I'm not really too worried about Gino and having the pressure. Um, so long as that line is good, the line holds up. I think we'll be all right, man, for sure, for sure. But again, appreciate you guys pulling up. If you guys haven't done so already, make sure you guys head on over, hit that like and subscribe button for your old boy here. Especially if you're feeling what you're hearing, go ahead and turn on notifications as soon as news drops. I go on. You don't want to be left out in the dark. Make sure you guys go ahead and tap in for sure. Hitting those thumbs definitely helps the show. If you really want to go ahead and support the show, make sure you go ahead and become a member. I got my link. I got the link pinned up top in mine. Like I said, once we get to 10 members, I'm gonna start doing the raffles for some free shirts. I got the shirts. I got the Just Raider baby shirts. I got the Raider Nation shirts. I'll be doing a raffle for those once I get to 10 memberships. Um, so gotta have enough people in that. So make sure you guys head on over, become a member. It also helps to really keep the lights on for sure. So all this stuff costs money to go ahead and maintain. So it really does go a long way for sure. Let's see here. Good tight ends help a QB big time. Yep. So now, I mean, bro, I think we have the two best tight ends in the game. We got Brock Bowers, the best tight end. You got Michael Mara, a guy who's really solid. Yeah, we didn't see a whole lot of big play last year, being out like 7 games, but I think this year is going to be different, where he's, you know, I don't see an issue being of him being here all 17 games. Uh, Having him be that traditional tight end is going to go a long way. He's going to be able to block for us. That's a big thing here. Brock's talking about the pressure for Gino. Well, how do you get rid of the pressure? Blocking. If you give this guy time in the world, if you open up, lanes for him, he can make plays. The pressure comes off. It becomes a more natural thing. So, you know, having Michael Mayer here is definitely gonna help for sure. So, not only that, this guy can go out and catch the ball and run, make yards after the play, right? Um, that's definitely what we need, right? So when everybody's concentrated on Brock, we got Michael. You'll essentially have a tight end on every fucking down, which is great, right? Chip has already said that there's no such thing as we don't necessarily have to run with a single tight end. We could run a 2 tight end set. We can run even a 3 tight end set. That that goes to show you they're going to utilize Michael Mayer, and he is a very talented guy. And to go out and replace a guy like Michael Mayer, the talent is not really out there. So I think I think we have a gem in Michael Mayer. I think it's all the only. I think it only just helps Brock even more having Michael there. You know, it really does. It really does. So I hope, and that's the thing we didn't get to do last year. We really didn't get to do that 2 tight end set, and obviously for very reasons, Mike wasn't there. We had Getty once Michael came back. We didn't have really Getty anymore because I think when he came back, Getty was already fired, and then we had Nerve Turner, so he was a little bit underutilized. But I see this year where they're definitely going to be able to go ahead and run like a 2 tight end set on him on the NFL, which is great. And they're really going to go ahead and utilize him. So for sure. Let's see. Triple point. Yeah, bro. Basically, yeah. I think he's gonna be good, man. He's gonna be solid. He's gonna be like a Jacoby 2.0 for sure. Yeah, that's really why they went out and got the kid, and he's definitely gonna be a difference maker for sure. He's gonna be the solid guy, man. He might be the guy where you can go ahead and rely on him on a third down situation to go ahead and get you that third down. And those tough thread the needle situations. He's the guy to go ahead and go to for sure. Uh, See, the turmoil with GMs and coaching has to be stopped. We need stability so bad. Yeah, I agree 100%, man. And uh, everybody's been preaching that stability, stability, stability. I think with Pete here being 3 years, possibly the option with the fourth year option, I think really solidifies that. I don't see Pete really leaving here next year. I really don't. Maybe year 3, but that's if we're really shitting the bed and we're god awful. Um, we're not improving, we're digressing. So that's really I see a situation where Pete's gone, but I think he's gonna be here the full 3 years, if not 4. Yeah, especially if we're making the playoffs consistently in 26 and 27. Genty and Moser have to be able to pass the block. Yeah, for sure. Especially Genty, if he wants to be a third down back, he has to go ahead and be able to be. Um, he has to be able to block, and he's working on that. I've played footage on this show on Good Morning Waiters of him hitting the pads. So he's out there working on his block. Obviously, this is just OTAs and minicamp. The pads are not on. We'll definitely know full circle how that really is gonna come about during training camp. you're not really going to see this guy during preseason. You might see him at the last game versus the Cardinals, maybe for a series, maybe for a down or two. If that's it. He's a prize commodity. They're not really going to go ahead and put him out there to week one. That's it. But they might give him a rep or two, just to kind of get the feel of the game. So I don't know. Yeah, see, for sure. Facts. All right, guys. But I think other than that, I am gonna go ahead and head on out. Again, make sure you guys go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button for sure. Um, Make sure you guys turn on your notifications for any news that drops. I'll go on. Um, so you don't want to be left out in the dark. So make sure you guys go ahead and hit that subscribe button for sure. As usual, make sure you guys go ahead and tap into um, all my shows that I do. Obviously, Wednesday is going to be the Raider Connection with the guys Cheetah Linus, LB Ray 10, and Raider Jeff. And then Saturday morning, Good Morning Raiders, the flagship show with my guy, the Raider Rundown. We do it. We always do it up big shows with big guests every damn Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific. And we have a guest for this Saturday, and I will go ahead and confirm that later this week. And I'll announce it later this week on who that guest will be. But trying to bridge the gap, trying to bridge the gaps, trying to go ahead and unite dudes. You know, trying to bring you guys different perspective of different content creators out there, get different takes, and maybe some guys that you normally don't watch, you get to watch them for the first time, become a fan. You know, we're all on this together. We're all Raider fans at the end of the day. You know, and try to promote love, man, and between everybody in the nation. Not always will we say aye, and it's all good, man. Not always everybody gonna like each other, but just gotta keep it respectful, bro. You know, but I at least I try to go ahead and bring you guys great content from other creators, great takes, you know, maybe somebody that you normally don't follow. We've had that a few times. Like, oh, you know, I don't follow, but I'll follow you now. So that's what kind of Good Morning Readers is about. And I'm glad I'm doing it with my boy, the Raider Rundown. You know his takes. He brings fire takes all the time. He has a great outlook, great football IQ. So you know, we doing the damn thing. We doing the damn thing. So make sure you guys tap into Good Morning Readers. Definitely turn on notifications for those. And obviously, we have a guest coming up this Saturday for sure. So make sure you guys go ahead and tap into that. 100%. Let's see. You need to look at your non-conference schedule again. Yeah, man. We have some games coming up. I don't know who's going to what game. I'm gonna be at week 2 versus the Chargers. That home opener. It's gonna be fire. I'll be there most likely on that Sunday. Through obviously the game day to Tuesday. So very excited about that one. I'll be back in Vegas after that in November for the Jacksonville game. Excuse me. That's gonna be a good one too. That was my birthday weekend, so I'm gonna do it up with the family. I'm gonna bring the family out there as well. We're gonna have some fun out in Vegas for that Jacksonville game, and I really feel we're gonna go ahead and whoop on Jacksonville again. So I might be that lucky charm for the Jacksonville game. Who knows? We'll see. But that's gonna be a good one, and I'll be out in the preseason game for Cardinals versus Raiders. I'll be out in Phoenix in August for that one. That's going to be a good one. Good one to take the family. But I may not go to Denver. Don't know yet. Doubtful. That's going to be a little tough, especially having that game in Vegas just a few days before and having to travel to Denver and spending all that and we're working on unlimited budget here, just so y'all know. So, but we'll see. There's some good game coming up. Away games. Obviously, you already have Denver LA if you're local to Southern California, Southwest. You have Indy. Obviously, week one, New England. And then I think week 3 is the Commanders. Uh, I think week 4, we go back to Vegas versus Chicago. Um, and then we're on the road again to Indy. I think week 5. And I'm trying. This is all from memory, guys. So bear with me. Yeah. So I have it here. Yeah. So week 4 is the Bears. Week 5 is Colts. We have Tennessee coming into town. Then we go to KC. So we actually have a pretty tough schedule as far as I think we have the least amount of rest of all of the teams because we're having to go back east. We're having to travel so much. There's no real rest time, which kind of sucks. Obviously, they always find a way to fuck us. Like Joe Morley said. Shout out to Joe Morley. But yeah, we have a very tough schedule. We're really the rest time in between away and home games is not that much, right? So, but away we also go to Philly, we go to Houston, we go to that's it. So away games: New England, Washington, Indy, uh, KC, obviously, Denver, obviously, LA, and then we go to Houston and Philly, and then that's it. So yeah, man. Interesting to see. I don't know if I'm gonna go to the New England game. Same thing. I have That's a whole other logistical thing to work out. But far as right now, home games. I'm try for sure going to two home games this year. Got to show up, man. Gotta gotta really make that home field advantage. Every person counts, man. Every person in the nation counts. So we'll see what happens. But hey, I want to go ahead and thank you guys for joining me on this live on this Monday night. I know you guys have different choices for content creators, but I always appreciate my guys pulling up for my show, showing me love. Salute to everyone who's here, who's not here, who watch live with me, who goes and watch on the replay. I know there's some of my guys out there that they're stuck at work, and all good, brothers. Appreciate you on the grind and whatnot. As always, make sure you guys go ahead and give those thumbs up, hit those likes for your old boy. But other than that, I will see you guys later this week. Appreciate you guys. Till next time. One, just Raiders, baby. Peace.